You know how fast you were going?
What? How fast you were going?
I don't know. 10?
8.
Be advised, this is an explicit podcast. If you're easily offended, get your panties twisted into a knot. Leave now. Run to your safe space. Get your little cloth for your tears. All the opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and his guest and do not reflect the opinions of any local or government agency. Welcome, MOTORCOP Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Iceman. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I worked all weekend. It was just another day. I don't know about everybody else, wherever y'all living at. I know today I woke up, drove the motorcycle into work. It wasn't feeling too bad, and all of a sudden, temperature started dropping like a rock. So it went from being pleasant to chilly. So I think it's supposed to be like 37 in the morning. It was 90 degrees Sunday. Go figure, right? It's good Louisiana weather. If you don't like it, stick around for a few hours. It's liable to change. We're going to get some little housekeeping out the way real quick, and then we'll get into it. It's going to be a short one, not one of them long ones. So, of course, if anybody wants a great cigar, go to patriotcigars.com. You put the promo code in MOTORCOP15, get 15% off your order. They got premium cigars there. Also, if you'd like any MOTORCOP merchandise, you can either go to MOTORCOPchronicles.com or just go to the MOTORCOP Chronicles Etsy store and get the cool merchandise there. I say it's cool anyway. I'm always putting different stuff up. I got t-shirts there with shipping. I think they're like $13, $15. If you want any extra episodes, you go to Patreon. I got videos, 20-something plus extra episodes, plus I'm always posting stuff in there, usually a couple times a week. I know times are tight, the economy. If you can't afford it, I'm still going to be putting out my regular content 2-3 times a week. So if you want the extra, you got to go to Patreon. You can also try it out for 7 days for free if you'd like. We're going to shout out the Patreons real quick. Well, the full crew members. We got Ronald Holstein. We got Jared Nitrous. We got Dan Carlson with Burley Boards. Fantastic wood products. Y'all go check him out at his website. We got T-Bird. We got Jim Procrant from the Short Track Guys podcast. If you like dirt track racing, go check him out. We got Mr. Hoppy Hopkinson, our favorite truck driver. We got Blake Walker. We got Aaron from I Had to Say It podcast. Y'all check him out. I love listening to him. We got Mr. Z Palmer. We got Roy Spalding. It's Roy with the S, not Roy with the P. Of course, we have our favorite girl, JoJo from Down Under. Then we have Kaylee Norris and Natasha A. from the great state of Washington, and the OG crew member, Melissa Holstein. Appreciate y'all helping me pay some overhead bills. Let's get on to it. Like I said, this one's going to be short. I ran across a guy. I don't know how many of y'all listen to TikTok or watch TikTok, however you're going to say it. Anyway, they got this guy named Travis Howes on there. I would love to go listen to this guy talk at one of his classes or speeches or whatever he puts on, seminars. I don't know which one to call it. I would love to go listen to this guy talk. He's either military or cop or something. I think he's ex-cop or something like that. Anyway, but he talks a lot about, post-traumatic stress, the trauma, all kind of stuff that you go through as a first responder, not just for cops, but for military, firemen, any first responder, military type person. And some of the stuff I've seen of him is he hits stuff right on the money. So I want to play a clip or two. They're short, 50 seconds to a minute and a half, and then I'll talk about it for a minute or so. Like I said, it's not going to be a long one. Like I said, I would love, if I ever get the opportunity, I'm definitely going to go listen to this man speak.
There's a difference between being aware and being so hypervigilant that you can't even enjoy a moment with your family because you're so busy plotting the dangers that are not there. There's a difference between being aware and hypervigilant. Be aware, but don't be so hypervigilant that you suck the fun out of your family's fun. I promise you, I challenge you, next time you go to dinner, sit with your back to the door. As uncomfortable as it is, I'm telling you it works. Do it. Just do it. I promise you, John, with your back to the door, the next time y'all go to dinner, if a motherfucker walks in with an AK-47, she's going to kick you under the table and be like, hey, you might want to turn around for this one.
All right. It's funny, but he's not joking. Anybody in this field knows that, especially in law enforcement. 99% of the time, I always sit with. I don't want my back to the door. We did go eat this past Friday night. The table we got sat at, the place was kind of busy, so I actually kind of there was no way for me to sit where I could do that. I do my best not to feel uncomfortable about it. It's very hard to do. My main thing on this one was him talking about being hyper vigilant. And us law enforcement people sucking the fun out of the stuff our family does. I wish I could say that I don't do this or haven't done it. I have. I try not to. It's very difficult. The wife gets on me. Well, not as bad as she used to. I guess she just figures she just gave up, but. We go places and, she's like, you're not even paying attention to me or what I'm saying, even though I'm listening to her. But especially the bigger the crowds get, the worse off it is for me. Trying to watch everything, people's movements, where their hands are, if they got any bulges. It's just, the more people it is, bigger the crowds. It's like, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to go there. I could be a fun stopper, I guess you could say. A lot of times I'll just hang back and not say a word. So I don't try to ruin everybody else's time and just kind of watch and listen and stuff like that. So I try to let them have a good time, even though I may not be having a good time. It's just... Unfortunately, it's what this job kind of turns us into after a while. Kind of like I talked about on another podcast. The guest, they kind of got quiet when I said it, and I was like, well, what being a cop like? I said, well, I basically went off and said about what it turns you into. You start this job as one person, and by the end of if you do a complete whole career, you don't have to do your whole career. A lot of things, people drop out at 10, 5, different time frame. But most of them, after a little while doing this, and it don't matter if you're a big city cop or a podunk cop. The big city cops may see more of it, but it don't matter. Sometimes I think being a podunk cop, you got some whole different stresses because a lot of stuff you have to do that you don't have backup and all this stuff like that. You don't have help. So I believe, big departments, small departments, everybody has their own issues that you have to get over and deal with. And like I said, when I started doing this job almost 30 years ago, I was quite much a different person than I am now. I believe I was a more pleasant person. Of course, I still like to joke around and all that stuff. I do have dark humor and stuff, but it does. I was a lot more trusting of people and just, I used to enjoy going out and, being around people. Now, I don't. the wife says, you know, she don't like going out either, and she's a homebody. I hope she's telling me the truth. It's just you got to do your best. I mean, try not to do it. Like I said, because this job will tear you, just change you big time. Let's listen to this next clip.
Most first responders, what we're seeing, it's not one event. It's death by 1,000 cuts. And it's the personal life intermingled with it. It's you sign up for this job, all of a sudden you're in the trauma factory and it's trauma, trauma, trauma. You get married, trauma, trauma, trauma. All of a sudden you're starting to change who you are. She doesn't notice who you are. Trauma, trauma, trauma. Now you're having kids. Now you don't even want to be around your own children because of what's happening to you. Trauma, trauma, trauma. Oh, he's an asshole father or asshole mother. He doesn't want to be around anybody. Then you start moving away from friends. You got no friends. This job is the only fucking friend you end up having. And then you're doing it every day. Trauma, trauma, trauma. Now you're getting divorced. Trauma, trauma, trauma. She's taking the kids. Trauma, trauma, trauma. You just lost your house. And boom! That's how it happens to us. And you know the most pathetic part of it all? You're watching it come. You're watching it happen. You're seeing it come. And we're not doing anything about it. Because you know what? I can handle it. I can handle it. Statistics show we can't.
Again, that's true. Unfortunately, you see it, you don't believe it. I can handle it. I've been married a whole bunch of times, and you know, majority of them, you know, looking back now is a different person I used to be, and you know, being able to open my eyes differently. Majority of them, a lot of them were my fault. Some of them were both of us, but it might have been because of the way I was acting, who I was changing into from who I used to be when we first got together. I don't think we give enough credit to our spouses on the shit we probably do put them through, the way we speak to them, the way we act, that whole cop, especially I can't speak for firemen, but the whole that cop mindset, the way we have to deal with stuff on the streets, and unfortunately we try not to, and I always tried not to, but listen to this guy some too, and I look back and I so brought a lot of it home on the way I dealt with conflict in my personal life. You cannot deal with conflict in your personal life the way you deal with conflict on the job. Your spouse is not a suspect, is not, a combatant or anything like that. We as first responders, I believe, need to learn how to really speak to our spouses. I know I have a shit ton of work to do because I still don't speak. It's extremely hard, She's like, I can't even have a conversation with you. Well, you know what? She's right. She's right. She can't have a conversation with me. I get very defensive. Even, I try not to. So what I've done is I basically just shut up. She does something I don't like, a lot of times I just don't say nothing. She bitches at me about something, I just don't say nothing. Because it's unfortunately, it's easier for me. Is it right? No. But I try. I try my damnedest, and I know she'll say something, and I jump back just like I'm working on the street. I want to keep command of the situation. I want to be in charge of the scene. I have to, have to be in control. So, and when he talks about another one, basically we're almost become verbally abusive, even though we don't mean to. I don't have a great relationship with my kids. Well, me and my son don't even speak. It's been 3 years since I've even spoken to my son, or he spoke to me. I don't even know where he's at, Texas somewhere. Was that all my fault? No. Some of it, yeah, sure. I'm a bullheaded bastard. I know that. Kind of is too. Probably gets that from me. Me and my daughter are not close at all. I've only probably seen her 3 or 4 times this year. Probably a lot of my fault too. Some on her. She don't come by, but maybe why would she want to come by, visit? You know, visit me. I wasn't the greatest dad in the world. I've already told y'all that. Job always came first. Me and mom were divorced, of course. Work. Child support was always paid. Got them what they needed. But listen up, guys. It's not about the money all the time. Sometimes your kids or your wife would rather have you home than have that extra money coming in sometimes. Sometimes don't pick up that extra detail, you know. Stay home with your kids. Take them to the zoo. Do something. Just go to the park. That's free if you can't afford it. Try to make a little bit of time for your family. It's not all about the money. It might make life a little easier. You thinking it makes life easier for them, but a lot of times they'd rather have you around than the money. So, next time your wife is trying to speak to you, like I said, I'm the worst at it. So I need to try to take my own advice. Try not to sit back and try to listen. And you're not working on the street with a suspect. Because believe it or not, they might not go to the same trauma we go through, but we put them through a lot of trauma also. If they see something pop up on the news or hear something, you don't know what's going through their minds every time we walk out the door either. So, marrying us, gave them a lot of undue stress that, they're dealing with, and they do it because they care about us. So, until next time, like I said, I'm going to cut it off here. Sorry, this one was a little depressing, but sometimes I do get, like I said, serious. Just, like I said, I got to trying to take my own advice too, because I'm the world's worst at it. And maybe somebody starting out new in his job or not quite as old as I am, maybe you can change and break your cycle, Don't be so quick to get a divorce. Maybe try marriage counseling. Maybe, like I said, maybe take a look at yourself. So, other than that, everybody stay safe. Watch your back. Watch your partner's back. And remember to smile, because like man, be behind you. And remember, we are lions and not sheepdogs. And I will see y'all Wednesday for the midweek news show. Stay safe.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until